Let's have a discussion about what to do if you find that you are in a relationship with a good person. However, you also struggle with wanting to spread your wings and fly. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. A commenter writes, I'm currently in a 2-year relationship with a really amazing guy. He's even-tempered, kind, honest, and highly educated. I don't work, I just attend school. He happily takes care of me, and I really have no reason to want to exit the relationship. I'm 24 and he's 31, but I can't help but feel the need to spread my wings, not to seek other lovers, but just to spend some time learning about myself. I've never been single since I was, not even since I was 16. I know that leaving him would hurt him, but I've never been independent. And once I finish school in May, I will have earning potential that I've never had before and will be able to enter a well-paying career field almost immediately. Is it wrong to want to leave him, to know what it's like to live on my own, to see who I am without his guidance? I can genuinely say that I'm a better woman for knowing him, but I feel as though I've outgrown him. He's committed, no crimes against me, but when he holds me at night, I fantasize about what it would be like to be alone. I don't want to throw away a good relationship or a good love with a good man, but I also don't want to force myself to settle if I'm having these feelings in the background. I'm not very close with my sister, and I don't have a mom, so I don't even know if it's appropriate to be reaching out to you with this. So thank you so much for writing this, and I'm glad that you spelled out this issue. And so 24, I'm going to give you my advice. I don't know you and you don't know me, and you don't have to take my advice. But I'm just going to throw out some thoughts there, and people in the comments, feel free to chime in with whatever your thoughts are as well. But the first thing I will say is 24 is very young. It sounds like from what you were saying, that you've never been on your own. So you've kind of been with this person since a very early age, since the age of 16. And so, people don't have to be bad to you for you to want to be independent, or for you to want to try something else. I agree with that. But I feel like, with 16 is very young. 24 is still very young to be settled down in something committed and monogamous without even doing life on your own yet. So with that being said, I encourage people to, experience life single. I've always encouraged people to do that. Like, you have to know you have to know me before we know we, right? And 16 is, you haven't experienced a lot of the world yet, such as traveling, independence, autonomy, life lessons, and things like that. So you're still growing, and still very much a child at that age, regardless of what your life circumstances are, even if you've had to grow up way too soon. So what I would say is, it sounds like you definitely know that you want to experience life. So I would try it. I would honor what you feel, because if you don't honor that, unfortunately, what you don't honor is something that you're always going to be looking back on. You're going to be wondering, like, I've never really experienced things. And as time goes on, you may even become a bit more resentful, and you may end up doing things that you don't want to do, which hurts more in the long run. So the longer you stay in it, the longer you don't honor yourself. So I would honor that and have a conversation with that person. If you know that you want to try this, you want to live life, honor that. Independence and autonomy is a great thing, and the chances are, if you honor that and you do this self-exploration, you do life on your own, chances are by the time you're ready to settle down, you're probably going to be an entirely different woman. And an entirely different woman is going to want an entirely different relationship and an entirely different partner. So I'd encourage you to spend some time writing down your goals and things that you want to explore. You may even want to try, or before you even graduate, to maybe look at the cost of living and, exploring job situations and things like that, so that you can trust that you can make it on your own and start exploring those options, and maybe even looking into, everything that you're going to be needing, budgeting and things like that, because it sounds like, there's a lot that you will need to learn about, just even doing that. And of course, I always encourage therapy as well, so that you again could learn self-exploration in conjunction with the things that you are doing, and because you don't have familial support. So I would always encourage a therapist. That way treatment can be tailored to you, and they could learn a little bit more about all the ins and outs that's going on with you as a person. But I would definitely recommend you getting some independence. I don't know how your partner is going to take it, but even if you just kind of move out and be on your own, they could look at it as you're taking a step back, you're pulling away from me, and might feel a way about that. But you want to explore your options and explore yourself and explore what the world is like, and whether or not you can even do it on your own, and traveling and just anything that the world has to offer. I think you should spend, a good amount of time exploring that, until you feel like, hey, I understand life. I'm ready to settle down. But as of right now, it sounds like you don't know yourself outside of that relationship. And what you may be experiencing is codependency, which is where so much of yourself is wrapped up in him, wrapped up in knowing what his needs are. And both of you may be codependent on each other. But, there's an aspect of it is like, hey, I want to try life for a little bit. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that. I would encourage you to develop a plan. I would also encourage you to get a support system. Like I said, a therapist, other friends and family members. If you have that, mentorship would also be great. But, just taking the steps to really plan how to land on your feet. And when you're ready to have a conversation with him about it, whether or not you want to break up, or whether or not you just want to have maybe your own space, like your own apartment, maybe try to explore having a job and doing that for a little while. But, there's steps that you can take to explore your independence, but you're still very, very young, vibrant, and full of life. So I encourage you to try it before you lock in to something serious, which it sounds like you've already been doing that, so you know how to do that. But I would encourage you to try you for a while. It sounds like you're on the brink of accomplishing something wonderful, and you want to explore life on your own, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I wish you luck, and thanks so much for writing in, and love to hear what everyone else has to say. Thank you so much.